It is expected that forensic work underway at Tumbler Ridge Secondary will continue through the weekend. However, the home could be finished by tomorrow. Autopsies on the 8 victims and the suspect are expected to be completed by the end of the weekend. The 2 surviving victims, Maya and Paige, remain in hospital. So far, officers have interviewed more than 80 students, educators, and first responders. Additional witness interviews are underway. Interviews are being conducted using trauma-informed principles, and there continues to be multiple supports and services available. As part of the investigation, digital and physical evidence is being collected, prioritized, and methodically processed. This includes images and videos from witnesses, as well as CCTV footage and video from BC RCMP body-worn cameras. And the responding members had these on at the time of their response. We have prioritized the analysis of the 2 firearms located at the school. One firearm has been seized from the home. This is a shotgun, and there is a number of other firearms at the residence. The shotgun is believed to be involved in the homicides at the home and has never been previously seized by police. Our investigation has also been able to determine that the main firearm believed to be used in the mass shooting at the school has also never been seized by the RCMP, and its origin is currently unknown. Efforts continue to identify the owners and the sources of all other firearms. The BC RCMP has launched an online portal to streamline the collection of additional evidence that may not yet have been shared with police, such as footage captured on phones inside of the school. If you are a witness from Tumbler Ridge with relevant footage or images to share with police, please visit the public submission portal. A QR code that provides access to the portal is attached to this news release. The BC RCMP would ask all witnesses who have not yet spoken to police to preserve relevant evidence and to contact investigators. A specialized team of investigators are also completing a thorough assessment of the suspect's online activity and digital footprint. In addition, we continue to review all previous police or professional interactions with the suspect. While public focus remains on honoring the victims, images of the suspect are also being shared online. However, some coverage and posts have included images of an unrelated person, which has resulted in false accusations. The BC RCMP is sharing a confirmed image of our suspect, Jesse von Rootselaar, and is urging the public and the media to use verified information to confirm the accuracy of your images. We would also like to advise that an individual in Ontario with a similar name to the person associated with our incident has been wrongly accused of being responsible. Xylee, this did not need to happen. We know you are not involved. The significant public attention to the incident in Tumbler Ridge has resulted in heightened concern in many communities across our country. We are mindful that public and media response and coverage can increase false reports, but can also bring forward serious complaints. The RCMP remains vigilant. Police are reviewing any and all threats, including those that may involve schools, to ensure safety. I'll take your questions.
Sorry, could you clarify, Jesse Winter from the Globe and Mail, you mentioned 2 firearms seized at the school and a shotgun at the residence.
So we have a total of 4 firearms, Jesse. Okay. We have 2 at the school and 2 at the residence that are associated to, pardon me, both incidents. The homicides at the residence and homicides at the school. Of the firearms at the school, the main firearm, believed to be the one that caused the most significant damage, is origins unknown. It's never been in previous RCMP controlled, never been seized by us. We're trying to determine how our suspect got that firearm, and that investigation is continuing. Of the firearms in the residence, the shotgun is an unregistered weapon and has never been previously seized by
Sorry, you said
police.
unregistered weapon?
No, or non-registered.
Is that shotgun legally obtained?
We don't know. So we're continuing to pursue all avenues with respect to all the firearms and all of those factors.
What was the weapon used at the school?
I'm not going to comment on the style of weapon just yet for the same reason. Because of its unknown origin, we don't know if there's other parties in terms of procuring that weapon, and so our investigators need to pursue those leads, and as soon as we can confirm and speak to the nature of all the firearms, we will.
So
Yes.
At the home,
Yes.
and was one of the firearms that was used in the commission of murders at the home left at the home?
Two firearms were left at the home.
And was one of them used
Both.
for the killings at the home?
Yes.
And of the 4 firearms, do you know how any of them were obtained?
Not at this present time. I can say that our female deceased victim at the residence did hold a valid PAL, but there were no firearms registered to that PAL. Now, as you all know, there are certain types of firearms, unrestricted, do not have to be registered, so we're trying to determine and trace the origin of all firearms.
And sorry, one other clarification. Of the four weapons seized in this investigation, how many had the police previously been aware of or been taken in? There was references before to weapons that were removed from the home.
So with respect to that incident, as we previously commented on, I can't comment further on that for the reasons we previously stated, but I can assure you that as we move through this investigation, we will examine in collaboration with all of our public safety partners any information to that regard.
And so at this point, you're not able to say of the 4 that we're talking about right now, you can't say which of those have been in police custody at certain points and which had not.
I can't say. I can only confirm to you the ones that have not.
Okay.
Just to make sure I understood properly, like you said you expected to be done with the scene at the school this weekend. For how long should it be cordoned off, like according to?
So as you can appreciate, the forensic examination of a school is incredibly complex. Our forensic investigators have been in that school since the incident. It's an incredibly traumatic scene to process. It's very technical in nature. We have to marry up the scene, the physical scene as it presents, with other evidence such as CCD footage, body-worn camera, all of that measurements, and it has to be done in conjunction with the autopsies and the medical examination of our victims. So it may take longer than the weekend. We're hopeful that we can get out of the school as soon as possible, recognizing that the community needs to heal. Our children need to return to school at an appropriate time. So we're trying to speed that up as best as possible.
Was Crown or court aware of who made the application to get the firearms returned to the home? Do you know?
I'm sorry, Chris, I can't comment on that.
Okay.
Is there anything you can say? You talked about searching the suspect's online history. Is there anything more you can say on that front, the nature of your inquiry, what types of things you're looking at?
Well, as in most cases involved in mass shootings, oftentimes suspects throughout the globe have a significant online presence, and there's sometimes indicators or communications with other like-minded individuals. We're trying to pursue all of those leads. Unfortunately, as you've all experienced, there's also many false flags and false trails on the internet. A lot of social media that is coming out that is factually inaccurate, a lot of allegations, a lot of photos pretending to be the suspect, videos, etc., that are not. And so that's why we urge extreme caution in the sharing of those images or the propagation of online hate or response because it unfortunately can target innocent individuals.
Do you have any idea if the shooter was targeting specific victims or shooting randomly?
In speaking with investigators, there was no specific targeting of any individuals. This suspect was, for lack of a better term, hunting. They were prepared and engaging anybody and everybody they could come in contact with.
Where is the library in relation to the school when you enter the school?
So I haven't been in the scene myself. My understanding is when you enter the school, there's a wide atrium, there's a stairway that goes up and cuts back, and there's a second floor with glass, and I believe it's up in that area where the library is, and that is where our members, upon making initial entry into the school, came in contact with gunfire from the suspect.
Can you describe how quickly after they entered the school? 'Cause you would describe how they had taken fire. How quickly after their entrance in the school did the shooting stop? Or did the fire?
It's very quickly, and I might quote a time, Chris, and I apologize if I get it wrong because it's a matter of seconds, but our officers arrived on scene, immediately went into the school. As you can imagine, it was chaotic. The fire alarms were going off. There was somebody that either leaned out or shouted out a window to our officers. The suspect is upstairs. He's upstairs. They entered the school, immediately went to the stairwell, proceeded to go up the stairwell, and were met with gunfire. Inside the school. It was a matter of seconds after that. There was more gunfire, not as we know now, having reviewed video directed at any persons, and then ultimately the suspect took their life. I can say with confidence that from the moment the suspect encountered police, there were no further injuries to any other students in the school. So it just shows again how critical an initial response and moving towards the direct threat, how critical that response is in saving lives.
And you're confident it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound and not a shot from RCMP?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
One more question.
Can you tell us whether any errors, administrative or otherwise, on the part of investigators contributed to the need to return the firearms to the home?
I can't comment on that for the reasons I've already specified.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.